I decided to do my second career profile on sex therapy or a sex therapist. This is something that I think is really interesting and not something that a lot of people feel comfortable talking about. Um, I did find several locations where there are actually quite a few sex therapists here in Idaho and a lot in Utah, and I found some centers and focused specifically on the ones that I found in Utah. So there is a couple centers, and they're all called Covenant Sex Therapy, and it is LDS sex therapists that do work there, and there's one in Pleasant Grove, there's one in Provo. I focused on the one in Pleasant Grove just because I know the area a little bit better, but it's not necessarily uncommon, just not something we commonly talk about. I don't personally know anyone in this career, but I did research a couple sex therapists that are LDS, and a lot of these people are marriage and family therapists, and then they become sex therapy certified. And a lot of these people are also the ones that write the books on intimacy and things like that we can buy from the bookstore before we get married. They do a lot of seminars and things like that. And so these people are LDS, and they do address sex from a more religious point of view. And I do think that's very interesting. And I feel like it's a very important topic, enough where the church will allow us to sell books on intimacy in the bookstore and things like that. And so I don't think it should be a taboo topic or should be thought of as a weird profession to look into, because if it was, we wouldn't have any of those books, and some people might actually be kind of lost. So the work environment kind of varies. I know the counseling center in Pleasant Grove is actually a lot smaller than the one in Provo, of the specific company that I looked at. And they do have some other, they do have some other locations. So it does just kind of depend. It is kind of like a normal counseling office that you would go to. It's about that size, and it's there with counselors, and they're there to help you. I wouldn't necessarily consider this a family-friendly place, not necessarily because it's dangerous or things like that, but just because of the sensitive topics that are talked about, and how hard it is for people to admit that they need some help in this area of their life, not only in their family, but in their intimacy. And it takes a lot for people to come to the center, and so for the sake of confidentiality and for them feeling comfortable, it'd probably be best not to bring your family and your kids over to the office. But you could. I mean, nothing bad would happen. The hours vary. It's like any other counseling office, so there are set hours, but you do make appointments, and so some days you might be more busy than others, just depending on how many appointments you have. I also know that there's an option, there's an option for video chats, and so that would also change your hours a little bit, with the option of having a video chat. So it would just kind of vary depending on the day. The typical stressors from this job would be just trying to figure out how to help people. This is a really sensitive part of their life, and you want to help them out so that they can have, they're all aspects of their relationship can be healthy. And so that would be stressful, and listening to people's problems on a repeated basis would also be kind of frustrating and hard. As far as benefits go, I couldn't find any specific benefits that would be guaranteed for being a sex therapist, but I did look at one specific company that was just for therapy, and at least with them, because sex therapy is just another form of therapy, they had 401ks, they had medical coverage, they had paid travel, but I do believe that it would depend on where you're working, on which office you're working in, who your employer is, on what your benefits actually would be. So some common tasks that sex therapists deal with is helping couples and individuals kind of talking about the dysfunctions they're having in their relationship, because most of these people are also certified counselors, but also what areas in their intimacy that they're having trouble with. And so some of the things, there was actually a list of things for the one counseling center that I looked at in Pleasant Grove, of things that they can help with. And so just a few of those is female sexual arousal, male sexual arousal, satisfaction, things like that. They're able to help with. Really, the only thing they don't help with is forms of sexual abuse. That's something that is more legal, and so they don't really help. You can't come in and receive a lot of counseling to stop abusing people. That's a little bit different. So a lot of people, as far as education goes, they'll get their degree in social work or psychology or marriage and family studies. They'll go on to get a master's in psychology and therapy and healthcare and social work, something like that, counseling. And then they will become sex therapy certified. And actually there's a lot of schools that do offer that. I know there is a school in Utah that offers that, where you can go, and what is required once you start on that path is you'll find out a little bit more how to actually receive the certificate. But there are programs, just like a master's or anything else, that you can go to be able to be certified in that. And so the starting salary for this is around $14 to $21 per hour. As you get a little bit more experienced, it's $17 to $26 per hour. When I was looking, there was some really high numbers of a lot of money you could make, so I think it really depends, but this is a little bit more average. And so yeah, I just decided to do this one because I feel like it's an important topic, and I feel like it's really important to take it from a Christian point of view and a Christ-centered point of view. And I feel like when people do that, there's a lot of help out there for every area of your life. There's a lot of other LDS counselors out there, and I just think it's very interesting that there are 6 counselors that are LDS, and I just wanted to look a little bit more into that.